Sorry, my bad. Take a right, go down 2 blocks. I didn't know. Hi, thank you for tuning in to That's the Setup podcast. I'm your host, Sharika Duncan, a new author of the Setup novel. Check me out on Instagram at Sharika Duncan and on Facebook as Sharika Duncan Author or my website, sharikaduncan.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the That's the Setup podcast, the podcast that sets up the platform to have a conversation about any and everything. I am one half of your host, Roland Mayhew, and the other half is the beautiful Miss Sharika Duncan. In this episode, we're going to be speaking with international author from Nigeria, Raphael Onwusonye. So far, he's written 3 books, and they're all available for purchase on Amazon. We're going to take the time out today to explore the creative process and the thoughts going through the mind of this brilliant author.
Hi, thank you for having me on the Setup podcast show. My name is Isuchukwu Raphael Onwusonye, a Nigerian author and a journalist, and as well as a motivational speaker.
Can you tell us about your companies, Sprint Media, Sprint Magazine, and your book?
Yeah, talking about my company, Sprint Media and Speak Magazine. Well, I'll start with Sprint Media. Sprint Media is a media company which I registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission way back in 2012. It is an international media and entertainment company aimed to send out news to the world through online and print platform. There is a blog site with the name sprintmagazine.blogspot.com, which I created for easy means to reach out to the world through online. Also, there is a Sprint Media page on Facebook which sends out news, and also is a page where I promote up and coming artists. Sprint Media is an entertainment platform for everyone in the entertainment industry. Not just entertainment industry, for everyone. The print version of Sprint Magazine is a project I'm working towards to accomplish in the nearest future. But then, on the part of the Speak Magazine, it is a quarterly magazine owned by Edna J. White in New York City, which I'm a contributor. They sound alike, right? Okay.
How long have you been a writer?
Well, writing is something I call inbuilt. I started writing since I was a boy. Let me say over 25 years ago. The vision was there and has been alive, but a lot of challenges made me to slow down until 2019, last year. But it's all good. Now I'm back on my feet to take up my career path by the grace of God. My story is a very inspiring one. I never gave up on my dream as a writer. Today, I glorify God. I'm a published author.
What are the most challenges you currently face during this pandemic?
The challenges here is something I see, or rather refer to as good and the bad one. Let me start with the bad. I earlier wrote a book titled Single Life to Married Life prior to the lockdown, which I published on Amazon in the USA. Until now, I haven't received my author
2 copies due to the lockdown, which I published on Amazon in the USA. Until now, I haven't received my auto copies due to the lockdown. Due to the lockdown, which I published on Amazon in the USA. And until now, I haven't received my auto copies.
no flight operations, airports are shut down, no means of getting my books, even the books I earlier published last year on Amazon, December to be precise, which I am already out of stock here in Nigeria. And a lot of people has been calling to place order, but I can't get the books over to them due to no means of getting them here as a result of the lockdown and the global pandemic issues we are facing. Also, I won a book with the title The Setup, written by Sherika Duncan, which I can still receive because of the global shutdown. I won the book last month, May, during the wind down session, which I'm willing and I can't wait to get my copy. But the good aspect of it is I have written more books during this pandemic, which are yet to be published. And hopefully, after the pandemic, I'll get them published.
Okay, how many books have you written and what genre?
Well, so far, by the grace of God, I've written 4 books, 3 non-fiction and 1 fiction. But then I still have about 5 unpublished manuscripts, which I'm working towards getting them published soon, by the grace of God.
Name some of your favorite authors that inspired you to write.
I won't relent to mention late Professor Chinua Achebe, the author of Things Fall Apart, There Was a Country, a Nigerian novelist and poet. Then also Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She's also a Nigerian writer whose works range from novels to short stories to non-fiction. And that's the most recent author that got me back on my career path after she won the Commonwealth Writers' Prize. So I got inspired and I said to myself, I'm going back to my career path, which is writing. So I'm so glad the journey so far has been good. So
Okay, so if you don't mind, would you like to tell us what was an early experience where you learned that language had power?
I won't relent to mention late Professor Chinua Achebe and language. When I wrote for my postgraduate diploma in journalism, 2018 to be precise, my lecturer Chief Ndeden Nade taught me how words shape people. Speaking, writing, and reading are integral to everyday life, where language is the primary tool for expression and communication. So after I graduated, I decided to write and publish a book where I could pass information or message through literature. So I worked towards that and achieved what I have nurtured in my heart for years. So I really thank God. And there is this quote by Lemon Snicket which says, all the secrets of the world are contained in a book. This particular quote pushed me and inspired my thoughts. Chinua Achebe, the author of Things Fall Apart, There Was a Country, a Nigerian novelist and poet. Then also Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She's also a Nigerian writer whose works range from novels to short stories to non-fiction. And that's the most recent author that got me back on my career path after she won the Commonwealth Writers' Prize. So I got inspired and I said to myself, I'm going back to my career path, which is writing. So I'm so glad the journey so far has been good. So
What is the most difficult part of your artistic process?
the most difficult part of my artistic process is getting my book published. The processes involved through editing, publishing, which involves finance. It's not easy to get your book edited and also publish it. But then it's been good, it's all good. I thank God for everything. Then another difficult part of it is choosing a cover. Most people are caught by the cover. They prefer to go for a book based on what they see, based on the cover, but they forgot about the phrase that says, "Don't judge a book by its cover." Well, that's just that. Secondly, we have few book readers here, so it's affecting the marketing aspect of it.
What's the story behind the first book you ever published?
Don't mind, I'm laughing. Then about the story behind my Facebook, which I ever published. The Facebook I published goes with the title, "Life Seems Empty Without a Purpose." It is a non-fictional book. These days when I look at the other ones among us, I try to figure out how they live their life. Some were successful and some didn't achieve their desired dreams or goals due to self-determination or ambition or the path which they took during their early life. Then most of our youth today are equally treading on the same paths which didn't favor some of the other ones we see today in our society. So I decided to pass a message through my book to the younger ones in order not to make or repeat same mistake which didn't favor the other ones, though our destiny differs. But then we should not sit down, continue to wait for miracle to fall from heaven. No, everyone needs to work hard, because a hardworking man will always rise. You can't reach your desired goal with your hands inside your pockets. So I wrote the book to encourage the young ones, to pass my message to them, to tread cautiously on the right path, irrespective of the challenges we might be facing today.
Do you want each book to stand on its own, or are you trying to build a body of work with connections between each book?
In as much as I want all my books to stand on its own, but I try to build a body of work with connections between each book, which points at motivation as a motivational speaker. All my books are inspirational and motivational books that can get one back on its feet. The storyline is always rich in motivation, and I try as much as possible to inspire every reader. There is a message attached to it.
What's the name of your current book? And tell us something you're really proud of with this book compared to the previous.
Something, okay, or rather something that made me really proud of this book compared to the previous. The current book I just published goes with the title Tunde, The Call to Greatness. It is a children motivational book, a book I wrote 26 years ago. You can imagine that. But I never had it published due to financial challenges. I lost the motivational speaker. with the title Tunde, The Call to Greatness. It is a children motivational book, a book I wrote 26 years ago. You can imagine that. But I never had it published due to financial challenges. I lost the manuscript long time ago when no one seems to believe in me. I had no sponsor. I approached many people back then to help me publish the book, but I was turned down. It was as if no one ever believed or even rendered assistance to get it published. Back then in the days, I lost the manuscript with others, which I never imagined to see the manuscript again in life until early this year, 2020, when I traveled to the village. I found it heavily covered with dust. That's in my hometown. I saw it, then I quickly dusted it, rephrased it, retouched the words, but never changed the storyline because it's worthy enough to motivate every child. Then my friend Manda in South Africa, the CEO of Head Publishers South Africa, edited the book, and my publisher here in Nigeria took it up to publish. Currently, I'm sharing it for free to every child in primary education, but that doesn't mean I won't put it up for sale someday. Well, it will be at a very low cost and affordable price for every parent because it is a motivational book for the children. I am very proud to have the book published after all hope was lost. It was one of the books I wrote as a boy. Apparently, I lost many manuscripts when no one saw the vision, but today, the dream didn't die. I never gave up, and today, Tunde is being published. Each time I look at the old manuscript, I'm filled with so much joy and laughter. All thanks to God, I never gave up on my dreams, and I am encouraging each and every one of us out there not to relent, not to give up on his or her dreams. Keep working hard, keep striving. A hard-working man will always rise one day. Thank you.
That does it for today's episode. And thank you again for joining us. If you love the That's the Setup podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review on iTunes and on Spotify. You can also follow us on Instagram at the Setup Podcast TV. Until next time.